What's up, everybody? I'm here with Chris Ruddick. He is the founder of Prime 3 Software. So you can find prime3software.com is where you can find him. We just recorded a couple episodes of the podcast. We had some great conversations. We talked about your why and your vision and his story. We also talked about he's in the process of discovering how to make the perfect loaf of sourdough bread, which is super interesting. Chris, what's up, man?
Hey, how we doing?
Doing
Hello,
good.
internet world.
How
Always
many
want to
loaves
say
of
that.
bread have you eaten over the last week?
Well, none, but I've watched yeast slowly rise, so that's almost as rewarding.
I didn't know if maybe, because you're working on the starter, right? But
Yeah, I'm
I
still in the
didn't know
starter
if
phase.
I,
Yeah,
I'm a little impatient. So I would be working on the starter, but
yeah.
I'd be making other types of bread while I wait for that to go.
Well, everything's at a commodity right now, so I don't want to use my precious flour to, work on something that might not be as fulfilling as that beautiful loaf of sourdough whenever
That's
that
tr-
shows up.
that's true. Flour and yeast are like gold these days.
Yeah, I feel like that and toilet paper are the new currency. We could just go around and start our own economy on goods like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy the way things have kind of changed. But aside from that, like, what have you discovered anything about yourself or your family or anything over these past few weeks?
Um, Definitely found I'm not really cut out to be a homeschool teacher. So my I I think I have a good bedside manner, but the whole the listening and following directions part on the other half of the equation has been trying. So working on improving my patience, I would say. But it's I find I have a lot. I don't want to say I have a lot more time in my day than I thought I did, but really trying to figure out how to prioritize my day has definitely been a radical shift from a standard routine that included going into the office and going to places. So uh, finding the off switch has been a hard challenge to this point because I roll out of bed and I start working and then I work until I roll back into bed and those are not good days for me and they're not good days for my people either.
Are you still going into the office or are you working from home primarily?
I am in my office today. My business caters to the supply chain industry, so we've been deemed essential. So I am able to go to my office technically, and I'm just trying to come in here for a little bit of solitude for a couple hours, and then just do stuff that's a lot harder to do at home, like scan documents and get stuff printed out and signed and that sort of thing.
Have you taken the time during this, this little quote unquote lockdown to do things that you wouldn't have done before, like that you maybe didn't have time or didn't prioritize? Have you done anything different now that you're like, I'm glad I finally did that?
Yeah, we've got some home projects that have been in the someday pile for a very long time, so they're finally today is someday, I guess. so we're finally getting that done, and I've replaced some routines with some other routines. So uh, I like to play with the dogs at the end of the day now, and I like to, scoop up after them. Whereas before, maybe I wouldn't scoop every day. Maybe I'd, wait a week and then save it all up, that kind of stuff. Just, I think many of us are very driven by our routines, and when your whole routine goes out the window, you you kind of have to start looking at, okay, well, what can I replace that with? How can I figure out what my new process is, and then how do I continually dial that process in while I'm at it.
What do you think you're going to take for like when everything gets back to normal or whatever normal looks like after this? Are there some things that you're going to take with you and institute into or introduce into your normal routine?
Yeah, we've been taking a good look at just how to maximize every minute of every day. When when everything's kind of uncertain, it makes sense to take a step back and take a look at, well, what are the things that we are doing? What are the things that we need to be doing? And how can we get the things we need to be doing done as quickly as possible so we can also do the next thing that's going to come along inevitably. And I had a kind of an awakening to this years ago. I sat down with a very successful fella. He was um, asking me what my business does. And I said, well, we're focused on helping businesses become more effective, more efficient. We like to automate things that we can. We like to, integrate systems together. And he's like, oh, cool. Are you doing any of that on your business? And it was like a kick in the head. It's like, oh, no, I'm not. so, so we've been real cognizant about eating our own dog food ever since then. And we preach and so much of our messaging goes into process. Once we have a process, we can solve some problems with software. But then if we're not doing it ourselves, what do we really have a leg to stand on? So it's been good to also pick some of this off the someday pile for the business. Is you start focusing on automating some things that we've while we have a prescribed process that does take some time out of our day. Can we automate some of that away? Can we become more effective, more efficient? Can we be a kind of a streamlined, chopped down version of ourselves coming out of this thing and just be lean, mean, and ready to get after it when things start to resume to the normal that we used to know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know the one thing that you and I have in common that we're both ready for is baseball to come back.
Yes,
Man, that's killing
I
me.
cannot wait. Yeah, yeah. I was watching the Dodgers play in 1988 the other night. That was yeah, yeah. We've fallen pretty low in terms of the addiction right now.
There's no sports anywhere, and it's like you're watching all these old games and you're reliving these moments, and that's fun in a sense, but it's like, man, if you think about it, if you look at that, like at the time of this recording, we're halfway through April 2020, and the season would be like 15 games in by now, and we didn't
Oh
even
yeah,
finish spring
yeah.
training yet.
No, we're I think we're gonna have a cut down season, and then I'm a huge Washington Nationals fan, so we're gonna hang up our banner and we're gonna try to come back reloaded and just sprint to the finish because I think that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna be hard for you because I know last year for the Nats, they were what 19-31 or 18-31 or something. So they better, if it's a cut down season, they better not do that again.
Yeah, yeah, we can't have a hangover from the parade and the party. We gotta come out and get after it. Yeah, last year April, May, and part of June was rough baseball for me, but it got better.
April, May, and part of June for you was like the last 20 years of being a Pirate fan for me. Hopefully they can kind of break out of it at some point. I mean, we had a few good years there in the middle, like 13, 14, and 15, but it's been rough sledding for the old Buccos. But I just love baseball. So
I do
I want
too.
to I want to watch some new games. And I've even sunk so low to the point where when I was a kid, I used to, and I don't think this is sinking low, but it's me reliving my childhood. When I was a kid, I used to love to play the PlayStation game, the show, MLB The Show. And so
Yeah.
that's how I would like bluffs. And I've even gotten to the point where I'm like, maybe I should buy a PlayStation and start playing again because at least it would be like baseball. I haven't done it yet, but
I've seen
I've been
I-
thinking about it.
I've seen some hockey players playing like a virtual tournament, and that was what they even suggested awarding the Stanley Cup from the results of that. I hope it
Well,
was tongue in cheek.
they're doing that. They're doing that in baseball too. If you follow baseball, the Major League Baseball on Instagram, they have the players. They picked one player from each team, and they're representing their team, and they're playing each other in online in
Doing
these games. And it was
that's
like,
nice.
man, I should start playing these games, but I haven't yet. But that might be what's next because I miss it so much. Anything's better than nothing, right?
I agree. I agree. I was watching Cal Ripken Jr. break the streak just last week. So
Mhm.
I got to relive that. I remember watching that in real time. So that was that brought a couple tears to my eyes. I was an Orioles fan before the Nationals came to town. Growing up in the Northern Virginia area, that was our team. So yeah, it's been rough. It's there's there's hope that one day we will resume to the diamond and get it done. It's like
So
a rain
much,
delay, right? It's just
so
like a
much to,
really,
yeah.
really, really long rain delay.
It's like the Ark, Noah and his Ark rain delay,
Yeah,
right? It's like
40 days of this, and we'll be in the clear. Go out
bring
and
it
hit the
back.
ball
Well,
around.
Chris, thanks so much for being here. I've had so much fun chatting with you on the podcast and here. I want to remind people to find you at prime3software.com where they can check out what you're up to and to keep their eyes peeled for the podcast for 10 Minute Mindset. That'll be coming out very, very soon. We'll be dropping those episodes. And it's just been a blast. Thanks so much. And
Yeah,
let's do it
this has
again soon,
been
man.
great. I would love that. That would be great. Thank you.